Many secrets exist in every Slavic language, which makes them different due to their ancestry. Ancient Slavic people were mainly hunters, gatherers, landowners, and fishers, and didn't have the same aspects as other societies. They were called the Vistula Veneti or the Veneti, and they were not quite known because of their distinctive position as a civilization. They did not rely on justifying themselves, and they were mainly viewed as outcasts because they did not possess the same features like armies and slaves in their society. They were also not approached by other societies, again because of their idiosyncrasy. They were extremely connected with nature, being honest, clear, and organized. And because of their connection to nature, their languages relied on the laws of nature, as opposed to having a definitive and judicial system. Their languages were made not for war, but for lives next to rivers, lakes, fields, forests, and other environments. This caused many Slavic languages to be more flexible and connected with nature, which is why Slavic languages are nested with etymology, especially Russian. And in this video, I'll present short Russian etymological linguistics. In Russian, when one talks to a baby, they might say ch, a sound that the baby hears and becomes quiet. This is where we have tishe and tishina, meaning quiet and silence, two words that evolve from a sound. Almost all humans use this sound, but only Russian has an offshoot. Whenever a bird makes a sound, it will typically say pti pti, and the Russian word for bird is ptitsa. A bird sounding before rainfall will say something like pit pit, asking for water to drink, and pit is a Russian verb meaning to drink, originally connected to drinking during a rainfall. Later, pit evolved to pityo and pitanie, meaning beverage and nutrition. Many say that the word koshka, a female cat, came to Russian from Latin, but it's not true. Ancient Russian-speaking people used the sound ksh to remove a cat from the presence, which is how koshka originated. The word for a male cat is kot, which hilariously meant the husband of a female cat, and from here we get gatki, meaning nasty, because male cats were nasty. A sound made for a male cat was ps and evolved into physical verbs like pisat, meaning to pee, because this is what male cats did. A different word that evolved from ps was pyos, a male dog, which did the same as a male cat. A female dog, sobaka, did the opposite by helping hunters hunt and being physically present to the side of a hunter. And to the side in Russian is zboku, which is where we have sobaka, a female dog. These Russian etymologies are also on the human level, like bespechny, careless, breaking down to bezpechki, without a furnace, meaning that if one was without a furnace, one was careless. There is the verb boltat, to chatter, which has a reflexive offshoot of baltatsa, to dangle. The two verbs are connected because to chatter means to have a dangled and rapid energy when one speaks, which is where we have baltat and baltatsa. When the chattering might be too dangled, Russian has the noun baltavnya, where the energy needs to heal into a hole, or vtseluye. From here, Russian has the noun tselitil, a healer that will heal the energy vtseluye. A better word that offshoots is tseluyet, meaning kisses. Figuratively, the healer will put the energy into a hole by kissing. Tselitil, tseluyit, vtseluye. The noun golub, a pigeon, can be broken into galavami lubyat. Using their heads, they love, which is what pigeons physically do. A different word that offshoots is goluboy, light blue, seemingly connecting to pigeons flying in the light blue sky. Another word is nedelia, a week, which was once used for Sunday, because on the weekends we don't do nedelat. There's also krasny, red, which evolved into krasivy, beautiful, where the red light was falling from the sun, making a beautiful scenery. The noun zhena changed a lot because people used to say druzhina, friendship, deeply emphasizing that within every wife there used to be a friend. The noun mush, husband, also changed and came from mozhit, he can, meaning that if he can, he's a husband, and if he couldn't, then he couldn't. Most of these words evolved from love and connection between the people, and even though some lost their meanings, they're still used today, which opens more flexibility to Russian. Even the noun love, lubov, can be broken into ljudi v Boga verят, people in God believe, which is how love originated in wisdom. Ironically, if we take bo out of the word, we'll have luv, the English love. So hilariously, the English love is the same as Russian love, but without God. These nuances can go on forever, and there are many secrets in Russian words, so here are just a few more. Mstit means to avenge, coming from the noun mist, revenge, which in itself is broken into меня есть, it's eating me, linking the idea of making unfortunate events for oneself, which will cause one to avenge. If one will try to avenge, revenge will eat him instead. Zavist means envy, and it comes from zavisimость, dependence, highlighting that if one is envious, one will be independent. Ненавидеть means to hate, which is broken into не видеть, not to see, meaning that if one hates, one won't see anything. The Russian noun грех, sin, derives from горе, grief, meaning that if one sins, then one will find grief. Горе itself has a historical breakdown of душа горит, a soul burns. If one sins, then grief will burn the one's soul. The noun печаль, sorrow, is deeply linked to печет, baking. If one is full of sorrow, then sorrow will figuratively bake him. The noun гордость, pride, can be broken into горе достать, to release the grief, again pointing out that if one lives with too much ego and pride, one's grief will release. The noun жалость, pity, comes from жалеть, to pity, regret, or be sorry, which in itself originates from жало, a sting, making the point that one can be stung by regret if one is being pitied. The noun ревность, jealousy, has the verb реветь, to bellow, inside of it. If one is jealous, then one will bellow and roar. Now interestingly, if the first three letters of ревность are backwards, then we have верность, meaning fidelity, which is the opposite of jealousy. Верить means to believe, and the secret here is that if one believes, one will not bellow, but if one bellows, one will not believe, giving the opposite meaning in Russian etymology.